Welcome back once again. With us now over the phone is Jordanian journalist Ramzy Khoury over the same topic. Good afternoon, Mr. Khoury.
Good afternoon, Dina.
How are you, sir? The continuation of the violation of international law, the displacement of Palestinians, and also on top of them the expansion of the settlements. How do you read those escalations and disregard to all norms of agreements, all norms of human rights and international law?
Well, Israel obviously believes that they can get away with killing the two-state solution once and for all. And this is basically what they're doing both in Gaza and in the West Bank. The effort that they have put in the West Bank, it is ethnic cleansing, exacerbated, on boost. It's fascinating because they've always been engaged in ethnic cleansing. But what they have done in the past 2 years is dramatic. They are doing it fast, taking lands that would make a Palestinian state anywhere an impossible project to do, and cutting up refugee camps, building new settlements and licensing illegal settlements all over the West Bank. All of these actions that Israel is doing now are very clear. The goal of these actions is very clear. It's very clear for everyone and to everyone. Many European countries came out and assailed it, and they're taking positions against it. It is very clear that they are ethnically cleansing. They are going to make it impossible for anybody to come and say two-state solution or a Palestinian state has to be erected in the West Bank and Gaza. Now, the problem, Dina, is that despite the fact that the goals are very clear, the only thing that we are getting is statements in response. And Israel doesn't care about that. You can assail Israel, you can disapprove, you can make any statements you like, but at the end of the day, what Israel wants to know is whether it's going to get away with it without paying a big price. And it is getting away with it without paying a big price right now. So the Americans say that they will not, they do not accept that Israel would annex the West Bank. But the Americans have given the Israelis the green light to virtually annex the West Bank on the ground. They are changing reality on the ground in a manner that mounts to the annexation of the West Bank. So the Americans are allowing them to practically do the annexation, but they are not allowing them to declare the annexation. Well, the declaration usually comes later, Dina, because once it becomes a reality on the ground, then the Americans will come out and say, well, what do we do? This is over now. This is the new situation. We have to accept the situation on the ground. Now, and then a declaration can be made. So the Israelis and the Americans are not in a hurry for a declaration, but they are in a hurry to actually seize the land and disperse the Palestinians.
And then release the declaration. So the Palestinians are always in a case of status quo. And there is an undeclared agreement, hidden agreement between, as usual, between the United States and Israel to continue with their violations. But the question that remains now, why bother a peace board, forming a peace board, if this is the situation?
Oh, there are many theories regarding the peace board, including the actual fact that the peace board is pretty much a good construction deal that is going to make money to many big corporations. So there is that theory, and that theory is sensical, knowing what Jared Kushner has come out and said in many conferences before, showing us diagrams of the beautiful new Gaza that he is going to build with Arabian Gulf money. Now, what Trump is doing with the peace board he's holding a meeting in order to collect the money, and this is going to happen this month at some point. and he's talking about billions of dollars. So it's very lucrative, this peace board, and it's all under the leadership of Trump forever. So this is an organization that is quasi to the United Nations, and it basically does the role of the United Nations. And it seems that it is not just about Gaza. It started that way, but we are hearing more and more about the engagement of this peace board in Sudan and in other areas, and it seems that this is a very lucrative project that is going to undermine the United Nations and act independently from the United Nations in order to supposedly resolve war issues and create peace through, of course, it's the creation of peace through construction. But if we want to see how things are done on the ground, the Palestinian National Committee is supposed to be in Gaza. These people have left the West Bank with great difficulty. They are in Egypt. We're waiting for the green light for them to be able to enter Gaza in order to assume their responsibilities there. And they're trying to do everything now or whatever in terms of coordinating aid and the entry of goods through the Rafah crossing. But they are not capable of coming into Gaza in order to take charge and to start assuming their responsibilities on the ground. Why? Because Israel is not allowing them to enter Gaza. So how does Israel get away with things like this? They get away with things like this because they have the green light from President Donald Trump. If they didn't have the green light, how dare they? How dare they? These people were appointed pretty much by Donald Trump, and they have responsibilities to do. They are not able to enter Gaza to do their responsibilities, despite of their appointment by Donald Trump, and despite the fact that they are under the direct management of the peace board. What is Trump waiting for? We know what Israel is waiting for. Israel is going to complicate everything. Israel has been complicating everything. There was a ceasefire that was done under the auspices of Trump, that he keeps on reminding us how wonderful he is in terms of creating peace in Gaza. There is no peace in Gaza. There was no ceasefire. Hundreds of Palestinians have been murdered in cold blood since the supposed ceasefire kicked in. 96% of the people who were shot in Gaza, 96%, are people who were shot far away from that supposed yellow line that the Palestinians are not allowed to reach. 96%, only 4% of Palestinians who were shot dead and injured were shot dead or injured close to the yellow line. So Israel is attacking Gaza at free will. Israel is killing Palestinian civilians at free will. Israel is bombarding Gaza on a daily basis. Israel has not allowed all of the aid to enter from the Rafah border. Israel has not allowed the National Committee to enter Gaza to resume responsibilities, to take over from the Gazan government. Isn't Hamas supposed to hand over the rule to the National Committee? Hamas is coming out and saying, where is the National Committee? We are ready to hand over. Where is that National Committee to come and assume power? Hamas is saying that. Hamas is demanding that. So this is how hilarious, if you like, the situation is. This is how fascinating it is. We have, obviously, as usual, we have to depend on the push from the Arab states like Egypt. And by the way, the Egyptian foreign minister in Slovenia made it very clear that Egypt is putting all effort to support the National Committee. Egypt wants the National Committee to enter Gaza immediately in order to assume its responsibility. during that meeting, Egypt was pushing forcefully against the Israeli intransigence and the complications that Israel has been creating on the ground in order to ensure that none of this actually happens in peace, in a peaceful manner, in a smooth manner.
Right. Also, we have noticed that there is an insistence on eradicated the UNRWA also from functioning its services in Palestine, as this particular also sector for the UN, the Agency for Palestinian Refugees, the commissioner of the agency said that Israel is continuing its pressure on policy to end the agency's work. How possible could we end the agency's work at such a critical time, especially that UNRWA has a vital role to play, especially at this time? And they are making life very difficult more and more for UNRWA personnel, so that by the advent of months to come, there wouldn't be any organizations in Palestine. Situation might come to a catastrophe.
Israel destroyed the UNRWA headquarters in Jerusalem. They are destroying all of their buildings in the West Bank. And of course, they bombarded the UNRWA building and facilities in Gaza. But why? Because UNRWA is the symbol of the Palestinian cause. A Palestinian is a refugee when they are registered as a refugee with UNRWA. And that's the only time that that Palestinian can get aid, whether it is food or medical assistance or education for the Palestinian children. They have to be registered with UNRWA as refugees. And therefore, and UNRWA is not only active in the West Bank and Gaza, UNRWA is also active in other countries where there are Palestinian refugee camps, such as Jordan and Lebanon, for example, and previously also Syria. And so UNRWA is a symbol of return, because if these refugees who are outside of the West Bank and Gaza are registered as Palestinian refugees with UNRWA, then they can continue to demand the right of return, which is their unequivocal right that they get from humanitarian law and they get from international law. And therefore, destroying UNRWA is to destroy the Palestinian cause. This is why Israel is so adamant about it. Unfortunately, some countries have sided with Israel on this, but most countries have not. Even the Europeans, who have started humoring all of the Israeli lies about UNRWA shielding terrorists and UNRWA personnel being members of Hamas and all of that garbage, even those countries have retracted because they realized what Israel was doing. And they also realized that all of these lies were unfounded. Israel did not have one proof of all of these accusations that it was throwing at UNRWA previously. So right. The vast majority of countries refuse what Israel is doing to UNRWA, but they're not doing anything about it. The only way Israel is going to stop its action to destroy the Palestinian cause and every single hope and for the Palestinians is to actually make Israel pay a price. Without sanctions, without action against Israel, Israel is not going to stop. Right. Coming out with statements is not enough.
Right. At the end of the day, I would like to thank you so much, the Jordanian journalist Ramzy Khoury. Thank you so much for talking to us in Arab Affairs.